Yo, what's going on guys, XpertFusion here, and one of my biggest complaints with the past two Call of Duty titles, of course, that's being Modern Warfare and Black Ops Cold War, is the microtransaction system. Now, I do agree, the microtransaction changes are great when it comes to new weapons as well as melee weapons. The fact that they moved the weapons into the Battle Pass as well as through challenges is a great change. You know, we don't have to rely on luck and loot boxes. We don't have to be forced to pay any money for the weapons. That's a great change. But what I don't like is the change in cosmetics and how those are handled. Now, I'm not saying supply drops need to be added back, but there are certainly much better ways for Activision to go about distributing cosmetics to players rather than only putting them in the shop for ridiculously high prices. The only free cosmetics that they ever give out are usually crappy ones. And of course, you have the Battle Pass, which is still something you have to pay for, and usually has the skins that are not nearly as good as the ones that they put in the shop for, again, ridiculously high prices. Now, we have to look at this from not only a player or consumer perspective, but also a business perspective, meaning I can't just sit here telling you guys for 20 minutes that they need to make all the skins free, they got to stop selling us microtransactions in a $60 game, because that's just unrealistic, right? Activision is a business, they want to make as much money as possible. Of course they're going to have microtransactions, of course they're going to sell us extra stuff to try to get as much money out of the consumer as possible. I don't blame them for that. If I was the CEO of Activision, I would want the same thing. But I honestly think the way they are doing it is not the way that they can get the most amount of money possible. Now, the reason why they are doing this is because it's been working for them. They are making a ton of money for Call of Duty right now, but I think there's ways to not only make the consumer enjoy the game more, but also to make more money on top of what they're already currently making. I have 3 ways that we're going to go over, and they can honestly do one of these ways and I'll be happy. They can do all 3 of them, kind of, in a way. But honestly, all they have to do is just one of these ways, and I will be satisfied with the microtransaction systems in these Call of Duty games that we've been having these past 2 years, as well as most likely the CODs going forward. So my first change doesn't really add anything necessarily. All it does is simply make the cost of the items in the shop a lot cheaper, so stop putting them in bundles with a bunch of stuff that no one really wants, and make them cheaper just like they were back in Black Ops 2 and Call of Duty Ghosts when they sold little microtransaction packs. Even Advanced Warfare had some microtransaction camo packs and such for cheap prices. Those were great. Also have the Battle Pass include better items than what it currently has, and add more free earnable items, whether it be through little challenges like they had in Modern Warfare, where there were some challenges with some guns that they had every now and then, and you just complete the challenge and you get the weapon. It wasn't that many though, but if they did a lot of different challenges for a lot of different types of free items each season, maybe they add some new stuff, that would be great. This is not a hard change, and the reason why I think this would be beneficial for them, not only for, of course, consumers, but also for Activision, if they make items cheaper in the shop, I really do think people would be more likely to buy them. Of course, a lot of people are already currently buying them. Of course, that's why they're making so much damn money. But just think about this from a common sense perspective. Let's say you want lemonade, right? You just want lemonade. That's all you want. And you're driving home, you really, really want lemonade, and you pass by a lemonade stand. You go next to the stand, and you're like, damn, I could go for some lemonade. So you ask them how much is their lemonade, and they say $24. And you're quite confused because usually lemonade's like, I don't know, $2, maybe $1 at most. I don't know, not that expensive. So you're like, well, why is it $24? And then they say, oh, well, this lemonade comes in a bundle with a brownie, some sugar packets, a lemon, an extra lemon on the side. You even get a little straw. You get a bunch of all these other little things you don't really need necessarily, you don't really want, but you wouldn't mind them. You wouldn't mind the brownie, you wouldn't mind the straw, you wouldn't mind taking it, but you just want the lemonade right now. That's all you want. Chances are you're not going to spend those $24 on it, most likely. And most people would say, oh, well, that's different because you could probably just get lemonade somewhere else for cheaper. But, you know, Call of Duty, these items in the shop, you're not going to get these somewhere else for cheaper. No, even if I do that same exact analogy, but I say, let's say it's the only lemonade in the entire world, there's no other lemonade you can get anywhere else, I still don't think most people would buy that lemonade for $24. I'm pretty sure they would just say, okay, you know what, I guess I'll just deal with iced tea at home instead, or I'll have some water or something. They're not going to spend $24 on iced tea. Some people will. Some people who are willing to waste their money like that will. And the same thing applies for Call of Duty. These skins, a lot of them are awesome, but I'm not spending more than like $10 on just that one skin. I know they add a bunch of little items in there sometimes, but They are not worth that kind of money to me. The ones that are like 500 COD points usually, I'm more reluctant to buy, and honestly, I bought in some expensive packs, I have, but they're usually just to treat myself because I have extra money to spend. Most people don't have extra money to spend, especially because most COD players are pretty young and don't have money to throw at all these cosmetics, which is taking away from the possibility of replayability for these players. Also, better Battle Pass items. A lot of people buy the Battle Pass anyways, but I think if you had better items, that would convince people to buy the Battle Pass way more often, and they'd be way more motivated to want to complete the Battle Pass because the skins would just be a lot cooler. Therefore, the more they play, the more likely they're going to buy other items in the shop as well. So it kind of, it helps out in both ways. And even for the more free earnable items thing, if you have more earnable things that people can grind for, when they try to grind for this, they're going to be playing the game more and most likely enjoying the game more if they're playing it more. Again, more likely to spend money in the shop, but only if the prices are reasonable. Again, the prices are ridiculous. Ridiculous, man. I did the math, right? I did the math to see if you wanted, let's say the average of a bundle in the store, because they usually go from either 500 COD points up to 2,400 COD points. So let's just say 1,500 COD points. It's kind of somewhere in the middle there, not exactly in the middle, but it's close to the middle there. 1,500 COD points for a bundle. Let's say you wanted only one blueprint for each gun in the game. Only one. That's all you want. You don't want more than one blueprint, which is one blueprint for each gun is not that many, right? You want one blueprint for each gun, and you're going to have to get them from the shop because there's not many other ways to earn things in this game. If you wanted to do that, and each bundle for each of these blueprints costs 1,500 COD points, that would cost you roughly $500. That's insane. Actually, it's even more than that. I just took a really rough estimate because I don't know exactly how many guns are in Cold War, but that's ridiculous. More than $500 just to have one blueprint for each gun in the game. $500. Of course, that fluctuates because some bundles cost more, some bundles cost less, and of course, there's some things you can get in the Battle Pass. I'm not denying that, but the Battle Pass, most of the items are not that cool. Most of them kind of, I don't want to say suck because the art team does a great job. They do a great job of making skins, no matter how unappealing some of them are. They're still well put together. They just don't put the flashiest ones. They don't put the most exciting ones in the Battle Pass. They keep those for the shop. Now, every now and then they'll have one or two items that are really flashy in the Battle Pass, but that's usually it. That's not fair to the player. I would much rather have supply drops where I could get lucky and earn, actually, I don't even need to get lucky. Usually, just opening a couple supply drops, I'll probably get a few camos for a couple different guns, and that's already more than what I would have gotten if I didn't want to spend a single dime in Cold War, because people seem to forget that supply drops are free to earn. You don't need to pay for them. Yes, it's based on luck, but they're cosmetics, so what does it really matter? You know what I mean? That's the difference between Cold War, Modern Warfare, and of course all the other microtransaction systems that we've had. Of course, I don't like how they handled the guns, but at least in those games, you can get a whole bunch of cosmetics, not even for paying a dime, and it was a bunch of random cosmetics, so you kind of felt unique. You're like, ooh, I earned this because I got lucky. But in this game, no, you're only going to be getting these things if you're spending $20+ on just a couple different things. It's a ridiculous amount of money. The second solution I have is earnable COD points through challenges of some sort. Now, this would actually be the only thing I really needed for this, honestly. And Fortnite actually has something like this. Now, I didn't really take part in it because I didn't really play Fortnite enough to the point where I wanted to do this. But they had the Save the World mode, which was like the campaign, I guess, of that game, and you can actually earn COD points through there. The only earnable COD points in Call of Duty are you can get 300 COD points through the Battle Pass, and sometimes they do promotional events for some free COD points. That's pretty much it. I know they have 1,300 COD points total in the Battle Pass, but 1,000 of those COD points are not in the free tiers, and you only get them, obviously, if you buy the Battle Pass. Therefore, you're just getting your money back. You're not really earning COD points, so you can only get 300 COD points, which even out of the 6 seasons, if you earn 300 COD points each season, you're only getting 1,800. That's not even enough for the highest priced bundle in the game. So yeah, that's not really enough. I have a couple of ways they can do this. As I said, it could just be like Black Ops 4's contract system, where they had, or even World War II, really, they had a couple different games where they had contract systems, but the currency was like its own separate currency. You don't even have to use a separate currency, you just use the currency already there. Maybe I don't know, daily contracts don't even reward you that many COD points either. Maybe like 10 COD points for doing a daily challenge. 10 COD points a day, that's not too much, right? Maybe for like 6 different challenges, so you can get like 60 COD points a day, which is equal to like 60 cents. So that's really, Activision shouldn't be worried that they're going to lose funds because people can earn 60 cents a day towards different skins in the game. As I said before, if anything, this will get people to play the game more. Therefore, they're more willing to spend money on things. If they play the game more, they're going to be like, you know what? I play this game enough to the point where I want to get that skin. I think it'll be worth it, right? The only reason they're going to keep playing the game, though, is if there's stuff for them to do that keeps it interesting. And I think getting, like, basically, I guess, money off of these bundles is a good way for that. So 60 cents a day, whatever, I could play that for a week or so, and eventually you'll have enough to get, like, at least a $1,500 bundle, maybe? I don't know. Not 1,500 COD point, but you know what I mean. A lot of cool things you can do with this. And my best idea, this is the one that I thought was so cool, that I really would love for them to do something like this. And they've done stuff like this before in a general sense, but not exactly what I'm trying to say here. So this system would be, there's this like bar, right? You have to get the bar up to 50 points. It starts at 0 points, you have to get up to 50 points, right? And once you get to 50, it resets back to 0. Every time you hit 50 though, it gives you 500 COD points, which is equal to about $5. Now, how do you get points? Points are given from a few different things through Call of Duty. One multiplayer win in either Modern Warfare or Cold War will give you 1 point. So if you get 50 wins in multiplayer, boom, you get 500 COD points. 50 wins is not something you can do quickly either. That's going to take some time. So you're getting $5 for that. That's pretty good. A Warzone win will give you 2 points. And lastly, an Easter egg completion on any map in Zombies will give you also 2 points. So that's giving all players a way to earn points towards the 50-point scale thing to get 500 COD points. And you can keep doing this over and over again. This would be amazing and would completely change my entire outlook on Call of Duty as a whole, because I would get so much more motivated to win games that matches would just be so much more fun just by that. Just by that alone, matches would be so much more fun, because I'll be honest, I don't really care about winning games in Call of Duty unless there's a reward for winning, and usually there isn't. So I usually just play to get kills, play to get score streaks. I usually don't play to like, oh, I gotta play the objective. I usually play the objective because I want to get my score streaks a little quicker, but I don't play the objective because I care about winning. I usually do not care about winning. So if you add something like this in, all of a sudden, I'm trying to win every game, and it's automatically a more fun experience, at least in my opinion. Same for Zombies. I'd love to do more Easter eggs. I'm not a big fan of Cold War's Easter eggs, but I would definitely be doing them more if I was to get rewards for it. And then for Warzone, I always want to win anyways, but that would be a nice reward for winning. This would be a great idea, and again, it would be simplistic, and it wouldn't be giving people too many COD points, so Activision's losing money, but it's giving them just enough to the point where they're motivated to keep playing, and the more they play, the more likely they are to spend money on shop items. Trust me, that works. It's how people's minds work. They want to they're only going to spend money on stuff if they actually feel like there's an investment there. And the only reason there'll be an investment there is if they want to play the game. They're not going to spend much money on a game. At least most people won't if they're not enjoying it. And chances are they're going to enjoy it more if they're getting sales every now and then, because they're earning sales for basically just playing the game. That would be great. Now, my last solution is kind of similar to that one, but just a little bit different. And instead of it being COD points, you would have another currency added to the game, which maybe it could be called, let's just call it salvage just for the sake of this video. So salvage is a completely separate thing that you earn through challenges, right? You earn it through challenges, or you can earn it through winning games like I was just saying, or earn it through whatever, right? And you use the salvage to purchase items in the shop. They could either have it so every bundle is available through purchase with either COD points or salvage, or, which would be even cooler in my opinion, is if they had 3 separate shops. One shop would have items that you can purchase with both COD points as well as salvage. Another shop would be only items you can purchase with COD points. So if Activision wanted items that were exclusive to only purchasing with COD points because, they don't want anyone earning this stuff for free, they can put stuff like that there. And then they can have a third shop for items you could only purchase with salvage. And you might be wondering, well, what's the point of doing that? Because Activision wouldn't be making any money from that. Well, Activision could stop being insanely greedy, and they could just give us something that players would enjoy because they would feel really special to earn it from that shop because it would only be earnable through salvage. Imagine something costed like 1,000,000 salvage. It was a really nice like camo or blueprint. That's the only way to get it in the entire game. It'd be very rare because not many people are gonna be able to save up 1,000,000 salvage. So people are like, okay, I'm gonna grind this game out, try to get 1,000,000 salvage for this one item where you can't purchase it anywhere else. You know how special that would be. You know how special that would be. You know how fun that would be. You know how amazing that would be. Man, I really just wish they would take advantage of this, but I know Activision doesn't do that because they know they're in a safe place. They know they're in a position where they don't have to because they're making enough money. People are liking COD enough right now. There's a lot of complainers and a lot of haters on Twitter, but that doesn't change the fact that the player counts are higher than they've ever been, so they really don't care. Oh well, I don't really expect anything to change, to be honest, but I just wanted to make this video just to offer some suggestions. So if you want to see my video where I ranked all the supply drop systems, go check that out. That was one of my favorite videos that I made this past couple months because it's just interesting going back to look at the old systems and be like, okay, you know, were they really that bad? Because everyone hates supply drops, but they had at least 4 supply drop systems to me that weren't even that terrible. Like Black Ops 4's current system is kind of what I would like to see. I mean, they have a battle pass, they have a shop where you can purchase things with COD points, but they also have supply drops where you can earn a bunch of items for free, and there's stuff you can purchase with the in-game currency, which is of course the reserves. The reserves are like the in-game currency. It's a great system, and it makes those games so much more fun. World War II, Modern Warfare Remastered, there's stuff I can grind for. I don't ever feel like, wow, the only thing I'm grinding for is a battle pass. And don't even get me started on the battle pass. I don't like the idea of battle passes. I don't, because it's the same thing for everyone. They usually don't put the best items in there anyways, but it's the same thing. Everyone just grinds for the same 100 items. It's just not fun. There's no challenges or anything. It's just play the game and eventually you'll level up this battle pass. It's boring. I'm not a big fan of it. Not a big fan of a lot of the things Fortnite has brought other than, you know, free-to-play Warzone. And obviously, you know, I'm glad we got the guns out of the supply drops. Don't get me wrong on that. I think that was a great thing. But I think it took a massive toll on a big part of Call of Duty for me personally. A lot of people might not care about cosmetics, but I do. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.